Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars. Crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah, I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the...
And welcome, everyone, to the Man Cave. My name is Paul Knapp, and this is Season 2, Episode 30, if you can believe that, for the year. And waiting in the green room, we have 2 gentlemen tonight. You get 2 for the price of 1. We have the promoters of JoeLanta, which is in a few weeks, Barton and Massey. We're going to get to them in a few minutes. But first off, I'd like to introduce my panel tonight. I feel like I have 4 special guests tonight. When I see these 2 gentlemen pop in here, we have first Mr. Steve Stovall, Mr. Kentuckiana himself. How are you tonight, sir?
I am doing good. Glad to be back.
Awesome, brother. And we all know this gentleman right here, but he's coming not from his man cave. He's coming from Colorado right now. Mr. Ace, all good, but he still has a G.I. Joe with him, his traveling Joe.
That's my traveling Joe. He typically goes everywhere with me. So
right on.
He's usually in the truck regardless and says hi to everybody. And
so, dude, I'm excited about tonight. We're on a special night, Tuesday night. We got you 2 on the panel, which is awesome.
Super
and then
fun.
Our first time ever having Brett and Alex on, so they're going to talk to us about JoeLanta tonight. But as I always do with my show, I'm going to go around and say what's new in your zoo. So, Steve, I'm going to bring you up first. And what's new in your zoo, bro? I know it's been a while since we talked.
I think the last time we talked was before Winterfest, and so we got Winterfest completed. You came up and got to see the show. It was great having you there. And then after that, I guess we had our summer show, the Kentuckiana G.I. Joe Expo, with our expanded room. So it was a much bigger show than what you saw at Winterfest. We took the whole building over, so it was quite fun. And now we're in the planning stages for the next Winterfest, which will be our 5th one, so which is kind of hard to believe. And I've got the promotional card for it, and we've got the website, and we're starting to get people filling up, and it's a lot of fun. Now, on the personal side, I've picked up some. Although it's not 1/6 scale, I picked up some new Super Joe stuff recently, and I did pick up some decent 1/6 scale stuff, a couple of photo boxes. So I'm getting closer to getting my collection of photo boxes together. So hopefully, maybe I'll find something at JoeLanta this time.
Sweet. There's always something to find at JoeLanta.
Hopefully,
or Toylanta or Kentuckiana.
Yep.
So we got a lot of people in the chat room right now. I'm sure they don't want to. They want to talk to me. They want to talk to you and Ace. So I'm going to bring Ace up now. Ace, what you got? What's new in your zoo? Look at that. He's brings his own fireworks.
Wow, look at that. That's pretty fancy right there. I don't know how that happened. I guess I do the thumbs up.
Yep, that's a thumbs up.
Like that. That's the thumbs up icon, but I'll take it because I'll have to remember to do that next time to give me the big entry like that.
Yeah.
What's going on? I'm in Colorado, spending a couple of days with my family. It was my birthday a couple of days ago, so I got to go to a football game, and that was awesome. And I got a lot of great birthday wishes. So thanks, everybody. I'm not so sure it's great to be a year older, but we all are a year older. Enjoy it while we got them. What's new in my zoo and what's kind of exciting is from a 12-inch standpoint. I don't know if a lot of you guys know that I was working on that Ghost Army tank.
Yep.
With Greg Auteur, and we were supposed to have them delivered by June 6th of this year, but the factory in China kind of gave us the whole runaround because we were doing a very limited run, and we now have shipment coming on in a couple weeks, so we should have those things for sure by hopefully the end of October. They told us 6 weeks, so let's assume 6 to 8 weeks, but they'll definitely be in by November 1st, I'm thinking. So if you ordered any of those pre-order blow-up Phantom Army tanks, we're going to have the Ghost Army tanks. We're going to have those ready, and I'm super excited about them. If you don't know about them, We can talk about more about it another time, but they're the blow-up tanks that were based on the pre-Normandy invasion tanks that was going to be Patton's army that was set up to fool the Germans to think that they were going to be invading not at Normandy. Anyway, They're cool. They're coming out, and we'll have it in a couple months. But that's what's new with me in the G.I. Joe world. That's exciting.
It's funny you said that because I just watched something on the History Channel the other day about the Ghost Army, and they participated in 20 different areas. You know, they went overseas to Germany and stuff. And
really,
yeah, it wasn't just that one thing in Normandy. They used them like 20 different times, man. So
that's awesome. Cool. I just, when I came down to Oklahoma, I went to the National Guard Museum, which used to be the 45th Infantry Museum. And they actually had a display of all the Ghost Army patches, which had all the different units that were fake set up for all the Ghost Army divisions. I didn't realize it was more than one. I think there's a museum exhibit that's a tour in the U.S. and we're trying to figure out where they are so we can get some of these tanks in their gift shop. But that's a whole other story. And to hopefully get some kids excited into G.I. Joe.
Very cool. We got a lot of people in the chat room already. 21 people signing in already. Half of them are saying happy birthday to somebody. I guess that's you, maybe.
Do I get my fireworks again?
I think that only happens once, man. You only get that
really? Man, what a ripoff.
I think that's on your end because it doesn't work on my end. No, that's your camera. That's your camera settings or something.
I guess I'm fancy. All right. I have to get that anyway.
Well, great, man.
Hi, everybody.
And hi, everybody. Scuba Pete is in the room. Thanks. Stacy Armstrong, who was here last night. Murray Corrigan, who was here a little earlier. Steve Stovall keeps texting in the private chat. When you do that, you're just texting to me and Ace. Nobody else sees that.
Okay.
So if you want to text to the people in the chat room, like put it right underneath the chat and type there, and it'll show up.
All right.
See, I've never figured that out, how to chat in the room.
Same thing with you guys in the green room. You guys can chat right back to the people over there. So we got Vincent in the room. Alan Dawson is here. Wow. What time is it in England? I'm just going through the name. Big Boss Jack. He's coming to the show. He said last night he'll be at the show.
Oh, that'll be great.
So, yeah. Murray Corrigan, Scuba Pete, Scooter J. We got a lot of people here tonight, so that's cool. So I don't want to keep our guys in the green room waiting much longer. I know we got a ton of questions for these guys, and this is the first time on the show for them. So we want to welcome to the Man Cave these two gentlemen from JoeLanta. This is Brett and Alex.
Hi there. What's going on?
I don't have a clap button. I got to do the clap myself, man. So what is up, gentlemen? How are you?
Pretty good.
I didn't know we were going to have you both on the same camera. This is kind of cool. We never did this before. So you guys are going to have to take turns asking questions back and forth. So
all right.
You all right? First question. When did you take this over from Mr. Buddy Finothy himself?
For me specifically, that
both of you guys. Was it
the day?
I know Buddy ran it a few years back, but and you said this was your first one taking over, or first JoeLanta one taking over?
My company got the show literally a day before JoeLanta, so March.
March of this year. Okay.
Yeah. And so this is going to be our first JoeLanta, but I mean that's the timeline.
Yep.
A couple months.
Couple months, man. Well, I'll tell you what, that new venue, I saw the video that you guys put out. It looks pretty sweet, man.
We like it. Hopefully. Yeah. I mean, that's
No, I think it's going to work out great, man. So.
Yeah. They like it too.
Yeah.
They like the venue too. Yeah. They're pretty fun.
Hey, Steve, what do you got for these guys, man?
Well, I'm excited to see the new venue in person. Like I saw the same video that Paul did. It looks really good. I know we've had a bumpy ride on the past couple of JoeLantas and JoeLantas as we moved around. Hopefully this will be a home that we get to stay in for a while. What do you guys like best about the new venue?
Well, specifically, what I like about it is the flow of it. It's mostly all contained in a vendor room. Yes, there's some sub rooms that we can do stuff in, but it's not like you got to go through hallway A to hallway B to cut through room X to get to room Y. Vendors scattered throughout. There's no, there's plenty of walkway. They have like a standard operation procedure for a lot of stuff. This convention center, we're small potatoes to the big convention center. So, it's versus being too big for a small hotel or a large hotel.
Right.
Well, I think that's certainly fair. I mean, what I noticed was that the last hotel we were a little tight in there. We all felt like we were kind of all crammed in, and I think I'm really excited to see what's going to be different and how everything's going to be like more spread out. I think that's going to help everybody else. And I know the hotels are close by, correct? I mean, we're all kind of like, you were telling me we share a parking lot. That's kind of how it works. Is that right?
Yes. So, and there's a lot of the verbiage on the website already on JoeLanta.com, but basically you have the convention center, the parking garage, and then the hotel parking lot. So, I mean, you are doing a little bit of walking. There is a hotel attached to the convention center, but they would not do a group rate. And then we have an overflow hotel, which is about less than a mile and a half away, which the rate for that is slightly cheaper, but then you got to, drive in and drive out a mile as well.
Sure. That makes sense.
You got your first. Good.
Go ahead. No,
This is what happens when you bring Ace on, man. He was like, he just. Yeah, I said you got your first question from the chat room. Stacy Armstrong wants to know: is there going to be a parachute drop? You got room for a parachute drop?
So we have got a soft green light for a parachute drop.
Oh.
We have some red tape and insurance stuff to look at. But we, from the actual event venue, when we started, initially gave us a soft green light. So we're just working on the finite details of it. When it must take place, I do think that so we're not the only convention at this venue at this time. There's other things going on.
Gotcha.
So I think it has to be after the other event is closed. So that's probably going to put it later in the evening, probably around 7 or 8 o'clock. But again, this is all up in the air until we get it, nailed down. And they may, at the end of the day, they may say, no, you can't do it. But they've already soft said it's okay.
Nice.
One quick question. How tall is that parking garage?
Tall. And we're going to do the parachute drop inside the venue. Yeah.
Well, but just if a guy was wondering, like how tall the parking garage is.
Could you potentially throw a GI
No, I
Joe
didn't ask that. I didn't ask that. I asked how tall it was.
Yeah.
How many floors is it?
I want to say it's 4. It might be 5.
Okay, that's enough. Anyway, all right. So in the past, we've had kind of some evening entertainment. We've had some band stuff. We've had some, what are you guys going to do the same? What are you guys going to do different? I think that's one thing a lot of people are interested to find out.
So for VIP specifically, there's going to be some VIP events that they're going to have access to after hours that just general population, 2-day pass holders are not going to get. One of those is we have an arcade room that we're working on, and we're also hopefully going to secure karaoke for that as well. But it's also an area to chill and get away from the convention. If you guys want to go show your halls and sit up there, there's going to be some tables, and it's going to be next to the panel room, which anybody's got access to the panel room. But there may be a time when there's a divider where we might open up the panel room and the VIP room and have a larger event. After hours, we also have, lobby swaps and room to room, which is pretty typical, but those will take place over at the hotel instead of doing anything at the convention center of that nature. We don't want a bunch of attendees to bring in tubs of stuff to the convention center to try to sell. That's not how they let us operate. But we are gracious enough to have a good hotel that is willing to let us have a designated area or two for special events at the hotel.
Gotcha. So there won't be room trading, or there will?
Yes,
be?
there will be. There will be a board. And as a matter of fact, if I can pull it up on my phone, I've got a rough itinerary.
What I heard was there's going to be a swap meet at the hotel, and there's going to be room trading at the hotel.
Yes, you are correct, at the hotel.
But as far as is there going to be an auction or like a band?
Yes, there is going to be an auction for sure. Steve has got a special item for that. Has that picture rolled yet?
I don't think so.
Okay. Steve's got a special item for the charity auction, and that's just once we get the designated time from David Lane, because Cody Lane Foundation is still going to do the charity auction. Once we get that designated time, that will be posted online as well.
Will that be at the hotel or the convention center?
I would prefer it be at the hotel. But again, timeline, if we need to have the rooms available at the convention center, that ball is kind of going to be in the Cody Lane Foundation's court, but I'm willing to do it, wherever they want to, really. And whenever they want to, just as long as it's not during the middle of the show.
I kind of suspect, we'll probably do it at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night. Is that kind of typically what we do?
Yes, I would say that's it. There's going to be another special event. Like there's going to be some stuff on Friday. There's going to be some stuff on Saturday. The only time there's not going to be organized after hour stuff is going to be on Sunday. We're not going to do anything on Sunday because people are packing up and leaving. Will people still stay and hang out? Probably.
Okay, that sounds all awesome. Now, I'm just to ask a really weird question quickly because I just thought about it because it's about dinner time for me here. What's the food situation like? And even not just necessarily from a dealer standpoint, but are there restaurants in the area that we can go have dinner on Friday, Saturday? And what's that?
There's a lot. There's a lot of stuff within just a handful of miles. I think the closest proximity is going to be like Chick-fil-A. I think that's right across the street from the event center. There's going to be food available at the event center, so I'm told. There's going to be food available at the hotel as well, but there are several restaurants within miles away.
Okay, that's another question. A lot of people really enjoy the socialization at the bar on Friday, Saturday. Does the hotel have a bar?
Yes.
Okay, that's one thing that sometimes isn't always there. So they have a bar and a restaurant and all that stuff. Oh, I didn't want to knock Joe off. All right.
And we have also been asked to not be directly at the bar or the restaurant, not as we have a designated area of the bar and the restaurant to be at. But we are also going to hopefully have carded servers in the events where we're going to be doing the lobby swap. That we have 2 special rooms that would be banquet rooms at the hotel. We're going to open up the doors, take out the folding wall, and have that for lobby swap as well. And hopefully we got a cart, somebody selling some beer and some 2-part drinks.
Oh, good. Well, that'll be good.
Nice.
That'll help. And so, are you looking for items for the donations for the auction and stuff like that, or how does that work?
Once I have a clear idea with David, as far as because he was out of country for the majority of the last couple months. Once we have a nice idea of exactly what we're going to do, because we're talking about additional charities being involved as well, just ran through the Cody Lane Foundation. Once we have that kind of fine-tuned, yes, I may go walk around and ask, vendors if they have something they want to, or David may go do it, or some representation of the show or the Cody Lane Foundation may go by and ask a vendor.
Gotcha. Totally.
That's all up to the vendor. If you want to donate, that's awesome. Let us know. Even if we don't have to come chase you down, let us know.
There you go.
There we go.
Is that better?
Hey, it's JoeLanta. That's what it says.
Yeah.
Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah, it wasn't until I brought you up big that I was like, oh, nobody can read that.
I couldn't even tell. So,
nah. Well, that's cool, man. I did talk to Brian Becker, text him, and he did say that they were still collecting dioramas, I guess, for that museum that they're still talking about, or.
So yes, it's my understanding after talking to David that they have an abundance of diorama stuff, and some of it has been damaged, and they're going to sift through what to bring to the show. And it's not like I'm greenlighting it. I just need to know the dimensions and where we can stick it. What is the size of this diorama? Where can we put it?
But this is not the dioramas that you're having other people bring for competition and that stuff, right?
No, that's entirely different. This is just really something that they've been paying to store for a while, and they just kind of want to get it out and use it. He mentioned specifically the one that was the ship from the Civil War Hotel a couple years ago.
Oh yeah! Oh my God, that was amazing.
Yeah.
So that is one I'd like to get, but I have to have dimensions to find out where to stick it.
It's huge.
Without getting.
Yeah. How about really fucking big? Sorry.
Yeah.
There's no kids watching. This is an adult show. No, because
Sorry,
I was
everybody.
I was going to donate one that I made last year that I made a video on. He said, "Yeah, bring it," but then he goes, "What's the dimensions?" And I was like, "It's pretty big, man." It's like,
Bring it. Bring
yeah.
it.
I mean,
So
I'm just going to donate it, leave it there anyhow. So if he,
will you have an area where you're going to be set up, Paul, and there's going to be vending space there, but there's also likely to be space behind it to put a diorama or two,
Okay.
or any kind of custom creation.
Yeah.
Will likely be there until I'm physically at the floor to see it. On the map, it looks like there's going to be some space behind you. Now,
Got
is it vending space?
Right.
Probably not, but to have something like on a table to see, yeah.
I understand.
no, that'd be cool. So, our tables are 6 foot, 8 foot.
Standard table, 6 foot table, like 2.5
foot.
feet.
Yeah.
And are you guys sold out for vendors?
Yes, we are, and there has been, let's just call it vendor musical chairs, because a lot of people, booked early on. Within like the first 48 hours, we sold out, and then I would say a good portion, let's say 10% or more, have had to, they didn't realize they had a wedding to go to, or they were already booked at another show. They just, said okay.
That'll happen.
And I just started going down the wait list and, contacting some wait list people and saying, well, do you want to come? And, so yes, pretty much anytime I contacted anybody on the wait list, the answer was yes. So if I lost one, I got another one, or, the show.
So the new space you got, it looks like you got a lot more room. So you're going to have more vendors than we've had previously.
That's a hard, so yes and no, because a lot of vendors wanted more than just their table, before, where they had one space available. So early on, people were like, yes, but I don't want a table. I want 2 10 by 10s. And I'm like, okay, cool. Cause we had it, but things fill up really quickly when your vendors are getting 2 10 by 10s, so the limited space that would have been designated to single table or double table vendors has gone way down.
Well, I guess from a attendee standpoint, then there's going to be more product there.
Yes, whether it's not exactly the product that you are looking for, if it's, strictly 6 scale, I don't know that product number is going to change because we got a lot of the similar vendors from your show. The difference in product that we are going to have is we've got a lot of toy companies coming out, you included.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit, Brett. Like from a vendor standpoint, JoeLanta was always kind of the catch-all for a little bit of everybody, and then JoeLanta was a little bit smaller with just kind of more specific kind of 12-inch guys. How are you guys kind of taking this to the next level?
That's a good question. So, in general, my experience at JoeLanta, it's been pretty varied, and even at JoeLanta, when I started setting up at like JoeLanta 3, I was primarily 3 3/4 Masters of the Universe and maybe a handful of 6 scale stuff. Not all of that was Joe. I had a lot of monster type stuff, Mego stuff. So we expect that, but with the toy companies, there's not a ton of toy companies right now with where my connections and interests are that is 6 scale. Now there's some military. Aside from Hasbro, there's some, one of the companies coming out is going to be Valaverse, and they have the Action Force, which is a 6-inch scale line similar to G.I. Joe Classified. And, the owner of that will be there, and he's got some solid products and some vehicles. But again, that's not 6 scale, but it is Joe adjacent, and it is really good stuff. It's good products.
Scuba Pete's got a question for you.
Sure.
Is there any chance you can put a pile of rocks and sand in the middle of the floor so we can all play with our toys once we buy them?
That's a great idea.
Well, if you have a VIP pass, there might be an arcade or an area where you can go chill and hang out at the table and mess with your stuff. And I hope you have a YouTuber having a kind of we'll just say a toys that you got, featurette where someone brings their pile of loot over and then they talk to the YouTuber over what they got. So yes, it might be able to kind of show what you got at the show. There may be an avenue for that.
You talking about a YouTuber like me?
A YouTuber like you. I haven't ran it by.
I mean, I'm available if you need it.
Are you gonna be there? Are you gonna be there that weekend? Yeah.
I'm there, brother. I'm there for you, man. Whatever you need.
Awesome.
Good
Well,
deal.
now tell me this. A lot of shows have figures and, or something special or something unique that they sell. Steve certainly has done a lot of really cool items in the past.
Still is.
What are you guys doing this year for something special?
Well, is this a time to show that little slide thing?
Go ahead and show the little slide thing, and Massey will lead in with the 6 scale item.
right.
And then I'll follow up with.
So this is
Steve
just like
on
a 30-second little.
We just broke news on them. Did you see Ace?
You guys should be able to see this, hopefully. So is that the new logo?
Yes.
Can you guys see that?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
some Astro Command art.
I really like that art. That's really classic vintage style.
And that's the charity exclusive. That's a Sergeant Slaughter print. And then that's a Sergeant Slaughter VIP exclusive print that comes free with your VIP pass.
So let me take you back to this right
Yeah.
here. Talk to me about that one, man. Is this a exclusive figure?
That's the exclusive for the auction, and what that'll be is it's inspired by the 1980s Flash Gordon movie where they had the
Wow.
exactly where they had the Sky Cycle and whatnot. So what we did is we made a special one up in the Adventure Command line, which is the Super Joe scale, and featuring the Atomic Mike figure, and he's got like the red sleeveless T-shirt, just like Sam Jones had, and a little flying Sky Cycle, and
Sky
so
Cycle.
that'll be a one of a kind right
Okay,
now,
one-
and it'll be available at the auction.
Limited.
Right now, I like that, Steve. One of a kind right now.
Well, if there is another one, it'll be slightly different. It'll be, this will be the only way you'll get this one. And I'm actually thinking it's probably going to be one of a kind.
Good deal. Good deal.
So Paul, play that thing again, will you?
Play the video, or you want me to go? No.
No, play the little video again if you can.
Yep.
So that Steve is going to be auctioned off at the auction for the Cody Lane thing, correct?
Just
Yes.
the Sky Cycle. That
Just
one.
as, but
That
there, but is there an exclusive that's going to be sold to the VIP people? I see we get a poster, right? You guys talk.
Yes.
What's in a VIP thing? Tell me what's a VIP. What does that mean?
Well, first of all, it's a pass for the whole show, and then there's like going to be some VIP things that are going to be free, and there's going to be things that you'll have early access to. So if we do an exclusive or a custom figure or accessory set or whatever it is, VIP's got first dibs. If that stuff's available at the end of the show, like say Sunday, general admission might be able to purchase some of it, but I'll go ahead and tell you,
Gotcha.
VIPs will probably get it.
And so there's like a VIP preview on Friday night, I assume,
Yes.
and that's only if you have the VIP pass, correct?
No, you can purchase a Friday night ticket, which is what we would call certain vendors will do to get the best of the best items. They would buy it and then just go home. They just go buy the awesome Shogun Warriors or the hard to get exclusive figures, or which they can't do. If you don't have a VIP pass, you can't buy the exclusive on Friday night.
Gotcha. But you're offering a Friday early bird special ticket if you want to get that. So you don't have to buy the VIP, but you could get the early bird admission on Friday if that's an option you want to do.
Correct. And that's more for the customer that is just looking for stuff. Like if they're looking for, like I've got to find this exclusive, UK Tiger Force, Blizzard that, I'm going to die if I don't get it. That's the guy that buys the Friday night ticket,
Right.
comes in and takes that.
But that doesn't get to go to the swap meet at the hotel, or can anybody
No.
go to the swap meet at the hotel?
If you're staying at the hotel, you are able to attend the swap meet.
Right.
VIP will have different things that they could go to that just if you're staying at the hotel, you won't be able to have access to. You won't even have a chance for it, So.
Hey, Alex and
Yes, sir.
Brett, I have a question for you, and it's coming from somebody that just popped in the green room, so I'm not sure if you're ready for this, but I'm going to bring this individual in. Not sure if you recognize this person here.
Hey,
fellas.
What's up, buddy?
Hey man, how you guys?
And he had a few questions for you, I think. What's up, buddy?
Hey man, I heard y'all having a show, huh?
Yeah. We are.
All right. Well, we're doing everything we can do to be up there. We've already got a place, and so can't wait to see everybody. It's going to be fantastic.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
And I just want to tell
Absolutely,
all
man.
you fellas, thanks for all the wonderful kind messages and words and gifts and distraction. The best thing being distraction.
Absolutely, man.
And I really have gotten an appreciation for our joint social media activities, because it kept me just hooked into the whole scene, everything that was going on. People like Paul coming down to shows and things like that has been just an incredible lifeline. So you kind of see the impact of what we've been fostering for 25 years, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, it's
So
awesome.
what do you think these young guys coming in? Huh?
Man, I've groomed them, if that's not too terrible to say. They were where it was always supposed to end up. Are you kidding? I never imagined anybody else ever taking it. I met Brett when he was 11, I think.
Wow.
And Alex was coming to the shows when he was hardly old enough to be out of the kangaroo pouch.
I was going to ask that question. Alex, how old were you when you first came to the show?
I was 11.
See.
The
Brent, were
perfect.
you 11 too?
I
11 years
might have
old,
looked
man.
11, but I was probably 19 or 20 years old.
I thought I met you. You were
still
about
look
20.
like, still look like I'm a young buck to a degree, unless I got to read.
How old
something.
were you in DC, Brett? Because you were there.
Oh man, probably 16, 17, maybe 18. Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Well, I could have swore you acted like an 8-year-old the whole time. I'm just kidding.
Still do.
Still does. Right?
Part of the fun.
That was a good show. I got to see Buzz Aldrin just really body check somebody as he was walking down the aisles. That was great. Somebody was being an ass and fixed them up. But I mean, all of you guys, it's been 25 years since we started the show, and you guys have been to almost all of them, minus Paul, who was there in spirit.
I'm there.
But I think this next step is going to be insane. And I couldn't have made that step. It absolutely had to be made by somebody with the energy of a 28-year-old, and they've done an amazing job. I can't tell you how cool I think that facility looks.
Yeah,
it's a
pretty
great
rad.
place. So tell us about it, Brett. How many feet are in there, and what do you guys? You haven't already covered this.
Well, the main ballroom is nearly 3 times the size of the main ballroom over at the previous event venue, over at the hotel. So that was roughly 7,000 square feet. This is roughly 20,000 square feet. But if you count the other rooms, which we have panel rooms, VIP room, hallways, you're adding quite a few more square feet to it as well. So I think it clocked in somewhere around 30 total. But that doesn't count the hotel space that we're having as well, because we've got 2 decent-sized ballrooms over at the hotel. Though they're small, they're more like banquet rooms. We also have a nice hallway. It's laid out real well, and to do extracurriculars.
Awesome.
Thank you, Stacey Armstrong. I appreciate the compliment.
You got a bunch there, man. You got a bunch in the chat room. I was just trying to put them up for you. But
yeah, buddy, I don't know if you're seeing the chat, but there's a list of chats, and everyone's like screaming about how awesome you look, and
Everybody loves Buddy.
how great it is to see you.
Well, I tell you
very cool,
what,
man.
GFO collectors have been the overwhelming number of people that have given towards the medical fund. At least 70% of our donors are all Joe collectors, or people I know from the Joe world. And for somebody like me who's been in so many different worlds, that's pretty impressive. They just reached out when they knew I just needed to hear from somebody, because that was tough. And then Alex and Brett came down a couple of times, and that amped us up. And then Becker and Marinetti came down, and Angel Muniz came down. These are all guys 6 hours from me coming down here to see us. So it's been, great to see the community as a community, and I get to see it as an innocent bystander for the first time in a quarter of a century in this next show.
Enjoy it from the sidelines instead of in the suck, which it's not all fun and games to throw fun and games. Sometimes
no, it is not. Having fun is the hardest job on the planet, but you're willing. Ask Stovall. He had a good one up there. I saw those pictures. Y'all did great.
Great show.
That was awesome.
Great show. Had a great time. Can't wait for the next one.
And keeping your product rolling is like an incredible feat. People have no idea how many hundreds of hours go into designing these things. And it's all because we got Cotswold shoulders to stand on. And it is an amazing, 10 years ago, we said there'll be 5 major shows in this country and we can all travel the circuit. and we did it. And so now there's not a season that goes by. There's not a really good show.
Yeah.
That's really
about
true.
2-3 months, there's a great show somewhere.
There is. Now there's going to be one right down the road, brother. I got to come back up there and see it.
There you go.
Yeah. So the space was Becker approved, though, I understand.
Oh, he had a blast. Again, we flew by the seat of our pants on going and getting that video done that day. But there was, for lack of a better word, an attractive female convention going on. I don't know what it was.
Hope to God it was a silicone baby doll convention.
Listen,
That would be
I don't know what it was.
I'd be down on that in a minute, man.
But
It's
you
like
can,
that's
you
my
can
kind
ask
of
Brian. We were just kind of sitting there. We had to wait like an hour and a half, 2 hours on Big Dub to show up to do the video. But I mean, it was terrible. It was just horrible. Just
You were suffering the whole time, you're saying.
well, I had to take my glasses off. Yeah, it was bad.
That's right, Murray. Buddy gets to participate this time instead of.
It's a well lit situation now, I guess. So
Well,
So
I don't know what it was.
Somebody just asked if JoeLanta is once or twice a year, and Brett, explain that, will you?
This is the easiest way I can do to explain this.
there you go. Toy shows in disguise.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. I mean, really, it's just two awesome toy shows, and they both happen to have a lot of GI Joes at them.
Right. So we'll say 6 scale Joe's in the name. So Joe's going to be present, probably a little more prominent at JoeLanta, but 60 to 70% of those Joe vendors are going to be at Toylanta. So we created Joe Row, which is an exclusive row area of the convention center or wherever we're at that is going to have those Joe related vendors around it. So we can take Joe Row and we can move Joe Row to Toylanta too. Joe Row's twice a year. JoeLanta's only once a year, but Joe Row is at both shows, which we're going to do that with another one too called Retroville Row, which Retroville does every 2 months. They do a swap.
Yeah.
In Powder Springs area. And a lot of the local Atlanta vendors tend to vend at those. So what we've done is we put the local Atlanta vendors on Retroville Row, and that will be something that we also carry to Toylanta. There's going to be a Joe Row at JoeLanta and Toylanta. There's going to be a Retroville Row at JoeLanta and Toylanta. And we don't see that changing, because those vendors are Atlanta locals. They've got their customer base there, and they're going to bring people through the door. And then Joe Row, a lot of those are the same vendors that go to Stovall Show or go to DFW or go to Joe Fest. Those are some of the same vendors, and they're going to, be a staple at the shows.
So you mean I get to be next to Steve?
You're about 3 spaces from Steve. Yeah, you're pretty close.
Are you kidding? We're lucky we put you right out front and just leave you there, pal. Are you kidding us?
So Steve and Ace, are you getting the impression Joe Row is 50 and over guys, or is that the impression you're getting, or
40s and over? Yeah.
40s and over
What?
guys?
Yeah, safe
What
bet.
are you talking about, Paul?
Well, that's what I'm asking. Is this Joe Row for 12? Just all the 12-inch guys in one place, and you're putting all
No,
the
Look at
3
Alex.
3/4 guys in another place, or
Actually,
Alex?
go ahead.
Yeah. What about me?
yeah, Al.
He's an old soul, so his soul's at least 50.
I wish Alex would shut up so Brett could talk a little bit.
Yeah, there you go.
He's just there to help even out the sides of the screen.
He told me I could only speak when I'm spoken to.
Yeah. He's here to be quiet and look pretty.
So
like
Joe
that.
Row is mixed Joes, 3 3/4 and
yes, it will
6-inch and
start.
12-inch.
It will start with Ace, and there's a large 6 scale base, and then it will pretty much empty into the toy department. It will empty into Corey Lord, and then toy department's going to go up the other wall, which is still part of Joe Row, but toy department is primarily 3 3/4, and they come really big to all the shows. I mean, toy department is probably the largest 3 3/4 vendor that I can think of. So yes, and there also is going to be, like Stovall's right in the middle, and he's got, the Astro Command, Adventure Command, Super Joe.
So Scuba Pete says like a police lineup. You're going to have us all together.
Right. The booths are turned around entirely. You can't see the product, and everybody's hands are against the wall.
The usual suspects will be on one spot, and then everybody else
The
is
frequent flyers.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be able to spot it. It'll be the volume dealers, pal. And
As
not
soon as you come in, you see Ace, so you'll be able to
That's
spot
right.
it.
Awesome.
What else do you need, right?
never get past him, baby. I hadn't got past him in 24 years.
You just have to smell me first.
And directly
Yeah.
across from Ace will be Sergeant Slaughter.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Well, now
Why don't
you're
you
right
why
up
don't you
us
touch
the
on that
Illuminati.
just a little bit? Like some of the
Yeah,
guests,
tell us
special
about
guests
that.
gonna be there.
Okay.
Man,
Just
the
in-
Sarge is always fun.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, there he is.
Yes, man.
Get down to JoeLanta.
Hello.
So, Alex, what was that? Is that the new
Oh, this guy?
Yeah.
the Extreme?
G.I. Joe Classifieds.
That's what I meant,
Sergeant
yeah.
Slaughter. Yeah.
Which I am told that they will have the new Mad Marauders version of it that's in these colors
Mhm.
at their booth, which
Wow.
is a hard to get item. You know, if you're out there looking for it, sure you can pre-order it on Amazon, but I'm a guy that does the hunt, so I've been driving to GameStop trying to find them in stores. And
How
I've
much
had
is that
zero luck.
in at, dude? How much is Sergeant?
They retail for retails $24, somewhere around in there.
On that one. The new one's I think around 40.
Is it?
Yeah,
But-
because it's a bigger set.
And then where do you get those things from?
I mean, I've not had any luck at GameStop, which is where people have been having luck.
So this one right here, they came out at Ollie's, Target, all those top retailers, but I actually picked mine up at Ollie's. So that $10, you know.
And this is a different version of that figure with different stuff, different color scheme, similar
Wow.
to
That is cool.
There's a reason.
I have
Wow.
seen what Angelo's been doing with the 3D printed heads, the 1/12 scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the Adventure Team stuff with the beards.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Just looks so like an entry. I can almost like see getting that stuff now that I see you can use the same head and just swap it over on different outfitted bodies or whatever and have
Right.
some fun.
Yeah.
A lot of 6 scale collectors are starting to do the classified line and adjacent lines, which
One thing, like, because I mean, you guys know I've been mainly a 12-inch collector my entire life. One thing I really like about the classified series, and I do want to get a lot of those Adventure Team heads. You don't have to worry about taking all the clothes off of one body and putting it on another. You just pop the head off of one and put it on the other. It's on a ball joint. So, for example, if I want to put Sarge on Duke, and I've got
Oh
Duke's
my
on there,
God! You took his head off.
I just throw him on Duke and whatever. So
Water.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely kind of what we needed was a gateway into that scale, because man, you guys know I've got a 50 by 30 building I bought just slam full out here, and it's like you hit the space wall and you still want to play the game, you still want to get the stuff, you still want the hunt, you want the thrill of the chase. And out in the hinterlands here, I can tell you the chase is much different than Atlanta, man. It's a whole different scene chase and stuff. Which, I'm excited to see that from an outsider's viewpoint, because we all really did affect the towns that we started in, or the towns we've supported in these shows. And it's made those town toy towns. Louisville is like second to none as far as like real toys in their shop.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
And you've got your shop. Where's your shop? Is at the Louisville?
Oh, the
Louisville
antique toy mall. Yeah,
place
That's
is
super
neat.
fun.
Mm-hmm.
Super fun to hit.
It is.
And it's really close to the new location, so you can go visit it when you come to the show. And
wow.
it's a lot of fun.
Why didn't we make it up there to that?
I don't know.
Oh,
I have a
man,
feeling.
you gotta have a Stovall rough guide, brother.
Yeah.
I've trailed him around Louisville like a half dozen times.
Yeah.
It's like a detective show from the 70s with long shots and big cars.
Oh yeah, we used to have fun when we come up for Wonderfest and go around to different things, and that was a blast.
Oh man, that it was so much fun. We'd end up at the damnedest joints, but they'd put up with us, and more to the point, they'd put up with Jack Hall.
Oh,
Oh boy. That's saying something.
I've got a
Real
Jack
proud.
Hall a Jack Hall creation right here as well.
Oh, let me see.
Do you remember when he gave us these years ago?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Probably like 2016.
no doubt. One of the first of the Bullet Man pieces. We need to take pictures of all these things that these guys made.
Yeah.
No kidding. Yeah, I was talking. Marinetti left me a message like, I'm going to try to start all these customs and all that stuff. We've got to start documenting all that stuff. You know, we need to have a 3D customs maybe. You know,
Oh, that'd be good.
seriously,
There is
it's
going
like,
to be a 3D printing panel at the show.
No, he's talking about for vintage 3D Joes.
Oh,
just how we can somehow document all these
Gotcha.
customs and whatever show specials that come up and these really
That
cool
That would be
things.
a really good addition to the site, having a section with all the like even like the stuff that Brian did with his shows. Just
Absolutely.
a listing of all the show specials and the stuff that Greg's been doing down in Dallas and whatnot. That'd be really cool.
Once that stuff gets compiled, people are going to be pretty impressed at how fast this has become an art form.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? That's
yeah.
absolutely so true.
It is an art form, and the multi-platform aspect of the larger stuff, and now seeing it in that 1/12 stuff, which gives you a whole world of diorama possibility, is incredible. But the 3D printers and the cats that are still brave enough to be resin casters are incredible.
Boy.
Mass Squash has a whole line of stuff. He was at Louisville, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Matt Scott.
Man,
Yeah, he's
did
got a whole
that
lot of
Magnum.
stuff.
He did what?
Jim Agner.
Oh,
a lot of
yeah.
guys.
Who did that set that was at the charity auction at JoeLanta? There was like a Laser Viper set, but it was done in 6 scale. It was
Ooh, I don't
3D
know.
printed.
Brad Curry. Was that Brad Curry?
I don't know.
I think
saw
it was
go for
Brad
auction.
Curry.
Was it?
Brad does a lot of really good stuff. You mentioned Jim. Everybody here probably has Jim Agner's 3D printed headquarters table, right?
Oh yeah.
Everybody here got it?
With the
Okay.
drawers in it now and everything.
I won't.
I bought
I
his
won't-
cast-offs. I bought 3 boxes of 3D printed. What he said were
All right.
proper prints. I'm like, are you insane, man? You're like 5 minutes with a
Oh,
trimmer.
Sean Huckster. Yeah, Sean Huckster. Had some
Yeah,
stuff.
Huckster probably did that. Maybe did that 3
Oh,
maybe
Huckster
he
did.
did that at the Toylanta last year.
Yeah.
Okay, because there was 2 versions, and somebody ended up when they went for a decent amount. So
Yeah.
I was I think I may have bid on it, but I didn't get them.
Well, documenting the toy auction is probably a good thing to start doing too, because some incredible one-of-a-kind stuff has gone through that auction and it's going through undocumented. And people.
Commander Bud.
We were flying by the seat of our pants almost every auction. We were lucky to know what we were going to have before it even started. Because people would.
Yeah.
I just point him over to Ace. Just take him to that guy over there. It's all. You just pile it on his desk. How did the auction go this last time?
Well, auction was very good. It was primarily for you, buddy.
It was probably for me, and that's why I say, man, every time it's like I can't believe the outpouring that I had, and is still coming every day. People messaging me, just checking on me, and things like that. It's not easy, but it's a war worth fighting. I've seen the alternative. I don't want to go there. So it's a
Good point.
lot of work, but there's so much work to do in the hobby. Even not running a show, you can spend every minute of every day working on this stuff because there's an outlet for it. And it's these shows. These shows are like keeping people sane. They kept them sane through the insanity, and everybody took some bumps and scrapes, but the strong outpour since the shutdown says people are hungry for this stuff, man. They're so hungry.
Oh yeah, the first show that we had. Well, actually, we did do our show during COVID. We were able to get one off, and then the first show after COVID was just crazy packed with people.
It was
just dying to get out, and our volume, and I think all shows' volumes have been up since then. And I think people just kind of enjoy getting out and seeing each other again.
Well,
Well,
it's
that's
the
what it's about.
interaction.
That's
That's
what,
it.
Yeah.
that's what it's about.
That is the hobby. The people are the hobby, and the stories, and the man. I can't believe I got this, and I can't believe I saw that. And most of the time, it's I can't believe Ace bought that, and so
He's
But
already
no,
got
but
2.
see-
He's already got 2 of those. Why did he buy the other one?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But you think about the interaction. You don't get that interaction on the internet, man. You don't get this camaraderie and
Yeah.
this knowing Alex since he was 11 years old kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
it's going back every year and seeing the same people over and over. And that's how come you guys are such great friends. And I just encourage anybody who's ever thinking about going to any show, just go to one that's near, and you're going to find your people, man. And life's about finding your people. And you guys are my people.
Yeah,
Good deal.
it's a tribe, baby. I've been touting tribe since day one. We all got
Speaking of
galvanized
that,
at that Brian Savage convention where we got called the blisters on an elephant's ass by Hasbro. Downhill from there, baby, no doubt about it.
Yep.
But there is a fever for it now. People realize there's more to life than just getting by, and there is this interaction with other people that they've missed so much, and then cracking the code on Paul and Angelo and those guys and getting them down here for these shows was fantastic, because I always had a vision of there being a broadcasters row, and I think you guys almost have that going on, right, Brad?
it's pretty close. We've got a very large social media and press package. I mean, we've got a lot of, we'll call some of influencers, we'll call some content creators, but there's a guy with like a couple hundred likes, and there's guys with like over 500,000.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, it's just kind of, and they're apples and oranges as to what their interests are in. But at the end of the day, the interest is to have a good time, and it's gonna, by proxy, get the word out.
Well, there's a bunch of 35-year-olds that don't know who the hell we are, so that's all good.
Absolutely. Well, and that's another thing. Like, I know a lot of the youth are into cosplay. Are you guys doing cosplay?
Yes. If you take a close look at the flyer, that's actually Simple Tricks and Nonsense. That's John up in the corner in the Cobra Soldier, and that's Rebecca dressed as Scarlet, and they're going to be out there, doing their thing. And my professional opinion is they're the best in the business.
I think you're right. I used to host Drink and Draw that was all costume superheroes. Nobody's ever matched up to the McDonald's that I saw in our.
I'd like to get my kid to try to do it. She's really into it. And
get her to do it.
She used to do it. Well, she did it when she was little, and she does it for other stuff. But if I can get Talker to do it, or Joe, want to be great to come. So
she was Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz in one of the cosplays you've ever seen.
Now, Alex and Brett, can you talk a little bit, while we got a little bit more time, about some of the panels that are going to be on each day? Or
yes, I can. Let me pull that up.
I hear somebody in our panel might be on one of those panels.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Ace is going to be doing a panel.
Oh, that's
right.
I'm glad you guys reminded me. I better.
You might want to put something together, Ace.
Oh my God! I have to
14
box
days
it up.
away.
I gotta do.
We might have to miss Science Theater, your ass. You better watch out.
You want me to go up and hold cue cards for you, Ace, while you're up there?
Yeah.
He'll have to go find something while you're doing it.
I will.
You will. You'll go find it, by God.
You got the list?
I do.
You got it hooked up there, Brett?
Yeah, I've got, and these are all subject to change based on, flight schedules, time, and, but.
Yeah.
So our first panel on Saturday is going to be Ken Coleman, and he is an artist coming from Ireland who did the package and production art on the Brutal Realm campaign, which is a 6-inch Barbarian fantasy line.
Wow.
And there's also, he's worked on what is the Marshall for Ramen Toys. He did their package and production art. He just happens to be a really good friend of mine. And he also did some of the art that we've posted on Instagram and Facebook. There's a couple of Cobra Commanders. There's a Storm Shadow. There's some other stuff that he's put out that have been very successful in our ad reels and our ad campaigns. And he's just a good buddy. And I know him from PowerCon and other Masters of the Universe stuff. And PowerCon didn't happen this year because me and Stovall talked about that earlier. And, I'm just kind of itching to get a Ken fix, and he does great work. And he's on the Brutal Realm campaign actually came out of Atlanta, Georgia. So, and that went to very good numbers on Kickstarter. Their goal was 140,000. I think they did 380 something.
I remember that.
Yeah.
That's surprised everybody.
Mm-hmm. And they're going to be there in full swing. And I met those guys a couple years ago at JoeLanta when it was just an idea.
Yeah.
And that's part of why they're coming to the show. Timeline from their Kickstarter, and we're really their first show. They're going to Legion's Con in November, But this
Yeah.
isn't like a small thing. Like these guys are pretty rad. And we've already talked about some future endeavors. So there might be something going on with that.
Neat.
It'll be
Other panels?
The next panel is going to be David Eon from Open by Chance, and it's going to be Adventure Team related. And I have the title to that, but I don't have it on my phone. But it's Adventure Team. I think it's how the Adventure Team changed his life.
That's it.
An intro into collecting, how the Adventure Team changed his life. I believe that's the name of the title. And then the next panel we have up is Mark Gerwig from Mark 2D Toys, who does. It'll be a 3D printing panel, but he has done a lot of the weaponry for the company Action Force. Valaverse's Action Force toy line.
Yep.
A lot of weaponry, and he's also done some other things. But I do believe he'll also be there 3D scanning heads if people want to get it done. I don't know for what, but I think he'll be out there doing it. He was doing that in Dallas one year.
I got one.
Yeah, good. Was that the same year I was out there, Ace?
It was fun.
Okay, good. And then the next one is going to be the Cold Slither panel. And Charles Michael Hill, that wrote for the Sunbow Animation G.I. Joe cartoon. He also did some Transformer episodes, did some Jim and the Hologram episodes. He'll be doing a panel on, hopefully, Cold Slither, which is the Dreadnought turned rock band for an episode of G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, to have some sort of Cobra plot to brainwash everybody, which G.I. Joe got up there and sung the theme song to unbrainwash everybody.
Yep. I remember that episode.
Yep. The next, and that's all for Saturday, but it's to be determined. On Sunday, we have the Brutal Realm panel, like an actual panel from the Brutal Realm team, which will likely include Ken Coleman and a couple of the other fellas, James and Jason, James being the Atlanta local. And then we have Ace Allgoods after that. Another Adventure Team related, panel. What's yours called, Ace?
What I'm going to do is I'm going to give a talk actually about international G.I. Joes. I'm going to talk about various vintage 12-inch G.I. Joes from around the world. So I'm going to try to bring some stuff from Japan, some from South America, some from Mexico, some from Europe, and I'm going to I'll definitely, I'm hoping to do like a slide presentation of some sort. I know you guys are working on trying to get a projector for me, and but if not, I'm definitely going to be bringing out some items and stuff like that, and kind of talk about some of the differences and show some of the things. It'll be fun. It'll be interesting, and it'll be something completely different than what you're hopefully usually seeing.
Cool. And after you, Ace, on Sunday, the last panel that we have scheduled, again, subject to change, is going to be another Charles Michael Hill, but he'll be focusing on his episodes from the Transformer called The Gambler, which is actually my favorite episode of the Transformers. And I did not know, he reached out about coming to the show. And while I'm not a huge Transformers fan compared to, say, my brother or, some other people that I know, I do like characters. And the character of DevCon, which is the character he created, and that's one of the central characters in that episode, which was never a toy. He didn't get approval to do it. He just put it in there. And nobody told him he couldn't do it. So I just think that's rad. And as a kid, I was, I want this guy, and you can't have him. He don't exist. And I was like, well, this is my favorite episode. So, it's nice that the actual writer is going to come to the show. And he wrote for Joe.
Brother, that's the fans are going to honor something when they turn pro first that they loved.
It's a toy now. Hasbro has seen that they need that dollar. And you can go buy a DevCon Transformer now, 40 years later, for approximately $35.
Right. If they did, somebody else would. So Sunday, are you guys wrapping up with the same kind of seminars in the afternoon, or?
That's the last one scheduled, and the last one starts at 3 or 3:30 on Sunday. And then if we do another one, show floor closes at 4:30. So if we do another one, it would have to be a 30-minute panel on Sunday. We have room on Saturday to put some in because we give each panel an hour time, and there's some overlap of an hour and a half between panels. So if somebody says, hey, I've got a panel I'd like to do between now and the show, if the panel frame will fit in the panel schedule, we can have it.
Paul, I think you need to talk about social media at these shows once in a while, pal. I think you've done a great job.
My show's not nearly as big as some of these other guys that are coming, man. I have such a small niche with 1/6 scale GI Joe guys. I mean,
it's a small but mighty
Good show.
niche. I can tell you from personal experience, you can change your life with this hobby. No doubt about it. I've seen it happen a dozen times. It's incredible.
Well,
so speaking as somebody,
if there's enough interest and there's an opening, I get people involved with the show and tell them, what we're out here doing, keeping the 1/6 scale alive, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right. Correct. It's on you now. We're lobbying it your way.
Well, listen, there's 3 other guys on this panel that I know have a good 1/6 background. So,
well, I'm
4
talking
if
about
you count the host, but
out there, man, on the street style, and make him hook for his supper. Get him out there taking busking them in. We'll get him to the song and dance act out front or something.
That's right. So I got the hat and put it out there.
You guys all know Alan Dawson. He's in the chat room right now. Alan contacted me.
Alan kept up with me big time.
Yeah. Alan contacted me and said that he'd come to the show if he could share a room with me. And I said, yeah, sure. Now I'm starting to rethink that thing because, like, I've heard about how late he stays up and how much he snores. And now I'm like,
did he tell you how many years he slept at my house coming to these shows? That was yeah. Alan can make all times interesting, man. You just give him half a chance.
So
it's a good time all the time.
Come Sunday, I might not be worth shit, man.
And I'm gonna tell you, when I give my lecture, I'm just gonna, just hand it over the microphone to Alan when it talks about Action Man. I'm gonna give a very brief, like, hey, this is what they are. If you got any questions, ask Alan, and we can always chat in Barry if we got any real questions.
Oh, man. Those guys got it covered between them and Alan Hall over in England. Almost all my Action Man stuff has come from those 3 guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Barry always has such cool stuff.
Well, I want to say this too. I know that, in 1 year, speaking of shows, I think it's in 26th, it's going to be the 60th anniversary of Action Man. So we got to start all thinking about going over to England and trying to check out that.
Dude, that'd be really cool, man.
It'd be cool.
And Alan was hanging out with one of the creators over there, right?
Absolutely. Bob Brennan is a pal of his.
Yeah.
He got to go to the factory, right? Didn't he get to take it from the old factory?
I think the show is actually at where the factory used to be.
That's right. Yep.
And it's in Colville, and I know there's some real folks from the factory that show up and all that stuff.
I mean, Stovall will probably remember this. Ace was always tied down buying stuff, and we would go over to those Allen Hall dollar bins.
Yeah,
and stuff in those things piled to the rim.
Oh, those were fun times.
He didn't even know what we were looking at. This stuff fell out of outer space, and it was a whole different alternative Man in the High Castle universe. They got to be, war toys for another 10 years. It was crazy.
I guess we may not be able to have the Action Man convention. Sounds like Alan might have lost he had told me there might be some location issues, but I'm sure he'll find a perfectly suitable venue for the great
He's
show.
never heard us bitch about a hotel.
That's right.
Oh, man.
There's a reason we're at a convention center. There's a laundry list of reasons why we're at a convention center. Which is
absolutely, man. And it's a beautiful center, man. It's a fairly new convention. The Gas South, I think it's less than a decade old, like 5 years old.
Awesome.
It's been restructured. I think it was something else, and then they've rebuilt it and has new ownership. And I think it's part of it's ran through the actual county.
I gotcha.
If I'm not mistaken, like I think Gwinnett actually runs a good portion of the control of what goes and how things are done.
There's a good amateur ball field over there off that exit, I think, too. Like the Braves AAA team or whatever plays over there. Yeah, so you might be lucky enough to catch a game while you're there. You never know. I don't know why anybody would leave the convention floor.
I'll be working.
All right, and he says we'll be in Colville and we'll be able to check out the factory site, so that's cool. But I want to tell everybody, how excited I am about JoeLanta and what's coming up. And I mean, I hope I see all you guys that are on this chat at that show. I mean, hanging out and being at these shows is what it's all about. And I'm so excited what Brett and Alex are doing. And Paul, thank you for bringing these guys here. It's great to see Steve hanging out too.
Yeah, I was glad to see you guys. Thanks for inviting me on, Paul, and glad to. Alex didn't just run us roughshod with all his vocalizing.
Dude, it was a pleasure to get you back on the show, buddy, and a nice surprise for these guys, I think. I didn't tell anybody you were coming on, which was kind of cool.
Well, it's good to see you, fellas. I appreciate it. Love
I love you, Tim.
Love you, buddy.
Buddy, I'm going to let you go, buddy. I know it's getting late for you, man. But
hold on. Before anybody leaves,
oh.
I've been holding all my talking in for just a minute. Would anybody here be interested in a 12-inch exclusive for JoeLanta?
Well, yeah.
You know, I'm
okay.
Well, yeah.
Is there a tease coming?
Well, may I unveil 12-inch exclusive on the show?
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
All right. Cool. Drum roll, please. Anybody?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Very
let me say this. It is going to be a uniform set. There will be no figure included, no stands included, nothing like that. But this is the uniform set here. You've got your net here, your pants, socks, boots, the belt with the snake bite and the water purification kits there. Got a little compass, knife, backpack, eagle, and of course the Australian hat. But I just wanted to show here, you know, this could be more of your 69 Adventures of G.I. Joe style on the left, if you wanted to roll up the sleeves and the pants. They are full length. So if you wanted to go more the Adventure Team route and put it with an Adventure Team figure, it's totally up to you what you want to do. So
options equal value.
And then of course we have our JoeLanta exclusive here, which
Super
Brett
Joe.
want to talk about that.
Yeah, sure. The Astro Command. Steve, you want to take the lead on this?
Well, this is a exclusive uniform that we'll see there, and a new figure from the Astro Command, which is our kind of rebranded Super Joe. So he'll look an awful lot like the size and scale of Super Joe. He comes with the laser sword, the pistol, the helmet, and the chest armor. And I think earlier we showed some of the artwork that Brett's had done for it, which looks fantastic. So I'm anxious to see the final product, but it's a very neat outfit, and the first time you've seen those colors, the yellow and the blue in that line. So it's a neat figure.
Wow.
Very cool.
And we will have a certain number of figures with the accessories and outfit and weaponry, but we'll also have the accessory sets available for the helmet, the boots, the chest armor, the lightning sword, and the pistol with the outfit. Like, there will be a certain number of those available. The first people that can get any of that stuff is going to be VIP ticket holders. Like that you know, the access to that stuff is very limited. The numbers are very limited, even with the other set that Greg helped you put together for the 6 scale. All that stuff is very limited, and VIP holders get first access.
Did some of those parts, did Cotswold help you with that set?
Well, I was going to say, yeah, Greg actually, Greg was paramount in helping with this, because he actually came to me and said, hey, you know, have you guys thought about doing a 12-inch exclusive? I had wanted to do one, but to be honest with you, you know, being the first year and stuff, I was a little nervous. I hate to admit it, and even though I've known Greg for years, but it was really cool when he reached out to me and wanted to do it. So thank you, Greg, if you're watching. Greg definitely had a big part in this set.
Action Joe Figs wants to know, would they be available online if they can't make it?
Gonna be very limited numbers, so highly unlikely. However, you know, if you got a friend or something coming to the show, maybe could pick one up for you.
A VIP pass holding friend.
Right.
Stacy wants to know what's it's called. What are you calling that figure?
Working title.
We're working on it. It's not totally finished yet, but yeah.
And is there going to be a box included?
There will be if you're familiar with the the vintage backyard patrol sets. It's going to be similar to that. We're going to call it the unofficial backyard patrol. It's going to come in a bag similar to those.
So it's
It'll
a
be the
bag.
side yard patrol.
Side yard,
Side yard.
front of house patrol.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, man.
It's going to be fantastic. I
It's
think
gonna be a great show. I'm getting excited, man. Getting excited. So
What you got there, Ace?
Oh, just my traveling Joe.
that's Traveling Joe, man.
Traveling
That's
guy?
traveling Joe. He fell down, so I came back.
We used to do those all the time in the AOL days.
I know. Anyway,
Joe
Hey, I'm gonna
Bud
bring
01.
I'm gonna bring Alex and Brett up one more time. If you guys just want to give one more plug, dates, times, things like that for the show, and just get the word out real quick.
I'm going to check out on you fellas while y'all finishing up. Thanks a lot. I appreciate seeing all of you.
Hey,
Good
buddy.
seeing you, buddy.
Love
Love
you.
you. Love you.
Take
Be
care.
good.
Talk to you soon.
But yeah, September 27th through the 29th, GAS Convention Center, Duluth, Georgia.
And those that aren't familiar with Duluth, how far away from the last JoeLanta to there?
It is 12 miles away as
So
the
it's-
crow flies.
Okay,
from
so
the
not
last,
that
no,
not that big of a deal.
and it is roughly 22 miles from downtown. And it's going to
40.
roughly take you an hour to get from either facility just because of the layout of Georgia.
so it's an hour from the airport, something like
It's
that.
40 minutes from the airport. The Uber ride is roughly 40 minutes from the airport.
Gotcha. I hate to do this, guys, but I've got a hot date with my wife, so I've
No,
got to
we're-
run. So.
We're all signing off right now. I just wanted to give them the last chance. Steve, thank you, sir, for coming on tonight. I appreciate it.
Always
Ace,
fun.
Ace, as always, brother.
Good deal.
Crack me up, bro. I can't wait for this the show, man.
I did have one more plug.
Okay, go ahead.
So the company Sparrow Toys Animals Worries of the Kingdom, which is a 6-inch anthropomorphic toy line, which Stovall was very close to them at PowerCon a couple years ago. They're going to be unveiling an exclusive for JoeLanta at the show. At JoeLanta, they're going to be unveiling the JoeLanta exclusive, and that is a line that I'm very into, and they do a lot of nods to different things. So
Awesome.
I'm cutting you off, Ace. I know.
Thank you.
We'll-
I hate
we'll
to
see you,
go.
Ace.
My
See
wife's-
you, Ace.
and then I guess we're done too.
Steve, I'm gonna let you go, guys.
Thanks for having
It's
us.
been an
Paul.
honor. It's been a privilege. I can't wait to see you guys in a couple weeks.
All right.
Sounds good.
We'll
We'll
see you
see you
soon.
And I guess I got to share a room with Alan, but it is what it is, man. So,
Hey, you'll have a blast.
No kissing on the lips.
guys, have a great night, man, and we will see you.